I'm about to go off. I never getting no sleep, these homies they weak. I never doze off. Yeah, I gotta wake up and eat, go give me the cheese. I'm about to show y'all.
The whole part of it, perspective is that, is that we just want the raw footage. That's why I got you high before you sat in the session.
I don't know if that shit's gonna work over here though, because of ESCOM and their problems.
Oh, no, we good. Trust me, we good. Jesse's got a special way of doing things. It's always on point. So shout out to the fourth show. This is it, Perspective, the fourth episode. We've come a long way. 3 episodes deep. This is my fourth one with a very close friend of mine, Kevin Mdubeki. This is the man, for any of you who don't know, that, the blow up, Chad the Don's blow up, hola, say what's up when you see me on the corner. This is the man that behind that song and behind many of my songs that helped me achieve what I've achieved. And Kev, I just want you to first give you a warm welcome. Thank you for being part of this. And yeah, man. I don't know if you want to put your headphones on or if you're cool.
No.
You're cool with that. Yeah, he's cool. He's cool.
So, shout out to George one time. George Avakin. Because, man, it wasn't for that man, you and I would have probably never really crossed paths.
That's the truth.
And maybe you should tell people that I almost killed you too.
Yeah, look, we come a long way, and that's why I had to call you up. It's deeper than just the music. It's a friendship that we have going on that I know will never end. Like, even when we tried and we nearly chopped each other's necks off, we still couldn't get rid of each other. It's like, Kev and I have been through some real shit, but kept it real too, and that's what I love. You've always kept it real, and I respect you, man, like what you've done in the industry. And people don't know, they don't really know the people behind the scenes, and those are the people that make things happen. And I love giving credit to people behind the scenes, because those are the people that, like, without you, like I said, I wouldn't be sitting here. Yes, George too, George Avakin is one of those people behind the scenes who will fight for you and, open up positions for you, and opening up to you as a blessing. Like, I wouldn't have got on TV, I wouldn't have been Chad the Don, because we solidified that thing with Hola. Like, that was something that we achieved. And then we did EFT, and we did that together, after getting back from our fallout in our relationship. Like, we still came back and we did some dope shit, because EFT was one of my biggest ones too. That song is true. Till today they still love it. I still get tweets about it. So, fam, why I brought you out here, for people who don't know, Kevin is he's not an artist manager anymore, but he used to be that, and one of the best in the game. And why I wanted to bring you here is because people don't know the importance of that, Kev. As Chad the Don sitting here, I can tell you that, like, my longevity for whatever I've done comes from, it's deeper than just the internet push. Do you understand? Now, not taking away from the internet. You feel what I'm saying? Like, the internet is the new thing. We know that, right? But I'm from the era where we still blew up, where TV, when you blow up on TV, it's huge, because, you're reaching kids that don't get to be on the internet always and stuff. That's something that I've got the experience to see. I reach so much people over the TV, which people take for granted. I still came up in that era. You know what I'm saying?
Well, cool, traditional.
Yeah.
Traditional means.
And I wanted to first bring you out here. We're going to just chat about, some people that you've managed, the artists you've got to work with, and how it's been, and like how you see the whole industry going. Like, we're just here to chat about a few things, and these are things that people don't get to hear about, fam. And so thank you one more time. Shout out to my sponsors, High Grow Cafe, Jester Podcast Studios, for sponsoring this. JC's like, Kev, he gave me some troubles over the week. He's like, hey, it's not Jesse, it's Jester Podcast Studios. I was saying it wrong the whole time. I felt so shit, and he didn't know how to tell me. So it's like, but please. I was like, bro, I got you. I'll never make that mistake again. I made a mental note, brother. I promise you. So I got that in my head. And then, High Grow Cafe, the weed thing. This is something very special to me. We're also going to get into this, something new on the way. The first proper hemp gin, against all odds. Chad the Don hemp gin. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to let everybody taste this. We're busy with it. We'll have them on the show next week too, talking to us a little bit about how this goes on and what happens to make this product. You know, people also don't know this. So, starting off, Kev, I want to talk to you first, man. Like, yo, you've had a crazy journey in this music industry, fam. Like, yo, it's been a long time. I don't think people understand. So, if you could just give us a background story of like a little bit of what you've done, you know, over the years, and how long you've actually done this for, because people don't know who's sitting right in front of me. Some do, some don't. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, Chetty. Yeah, man. So I suppose, you know, this whole thing, I don't know, it started, I think I was like, what, four years old. My mom played me a first piece of music, and I think that kind of ignited like a passion, I would say, that would probably, like, you know, kind of stay with me. It was like I was stung by some sort of disease or whatever that just stayed with me throughout. So and then there, I mean, I came out here and I was in television for a little bit, like I presented here and there, and then they introduced me to this guy named Tim. And then before him, like, I got into another TV show that was called, like, you know, anyway, mentioning those things is like immaterial today because these kids wouldn't even know about that.
Yeah, but you know what? It's dope. It's dope. It's still content.
So Cost Aloud was the show that we did, right? So like literally from concept to, like, you know, producing the segments every day, I mean every week or whatever. So, and that was like, you know, where I got to be introduced to the music industry of South Africa. You know what I mean? Yeah, like the whole Kwaito thing, like I've chilled with Brenda, you know what I mean? Crazy. I chilled with Lebo Matosa, I've chilled with, like, you know, people that are no longer today, you know, and that was through that TV show that I got to meet people like that. Wow. Even Coffee, Black Coffee, I mean, like, back in the day, like, before he was Coffee, obviously. And lots others, man. I mean, like, and it's great that, like, you know, nowadays, you know, when I bump into people like Mdu. I bump into Mdu, like, before that. You know, I bump into Mdu, they still salute. Mapaputi, they still salute, because, like, I was there, you know, Zege Zege, that whole era, you know, I was part of that. And then, obviously, after that, there was this girl named Liesel van der Westhuizen. So she worked for EMI at that time. I was at Urban Brew. And so she came through. She was like, yo, we're looking for somebody. And I think you might be the fit.
That's crazy.
So she was like, yo, you should apply. So, hey, man, I sent some bullshit CV. I didn't even know how to write a CV back then. And then they called me and they were like, yo, we'd like to see you. And I remember the night before I had, like, a sleepless night because I was thinking about, like, yo, what am I going to wear to this damn interview? I'd never been to an interview. Like, luckily, you know, most of the jobs that I'd gotten, I was never interviewed. I never sat in an interview process where it's like, oh, I just got jobs where it's like, yo, man, we want to work with you. Come here. We're going to give you this much. It was never like, oh, we got to, like, go through this whole process. So it's like, yeah, man. So, like, I'm like, yo, what am I going to do? So, I mean, the next morning, I got up and I put on my, you know the shirts that I wear. I still wear them. My oversized 5XL tee, you know what I mean? And I put on my 3/4. I still wear 3/4. And a pair of slops.
Standard procedure.
And I went to the interview.
Wow.
And weirdly enough, I met this guy named Irving Schlossberg. Nobody, I don't even know if anyone knows him, but, like, yo, this dude was the MD of EMI. Like, this dude was like, yo, he's one of the, like, you know, when you talk about, like, music execs, that's the dude.
Wow.
That's the dude. Wow. For real. So this cat was just like, he was fascinated with me, you know? He was just like, yo, this dude, like, yo, who are you? Like,
for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So he's asking me all these, like, questions or whatever. And I'm busy telling him, but, like, because I was pretty switched on, because at Urban Brew they had the internet or whatever, so I was already, like, checking out what's going on. And luckily I was getting the magazines, the Source and all that, like, you know, I was getting all those magazines, and, like, so I was kind of schooled into what was going on. And sometimes I would actually put pressure on them on a release and they'll be like, how'd you know about this?
Wow.
You know what I mean? And then this girl's like, yo, you always putting pressure on me about releases and asking me for videos. Like, how did you even know that this thing was coming out?
Now this
I'm
is
like,
EMI, right?
Yeah, no, this is like while I was still at Urban Brew.
Wow.
Before I got the job at EMI.
Wow.
So this guy Irving is the dude who actually like gave me the job.
Wow.
So, and I got to EMI and I worked for the international department. So like we released like a lot of international product. Like, and then I got to meet Jabba.
Wow.
And this was like pre-album, pre-everything, when Vusi just did the deal with Jabba, and he signed Jabba. And Jabba came through. And I'd known about Jabba though. Yeah. It wasn't the first time meeting Jabba. Yeah. I think it was a summertime joint that got me onto Jabba. Damn. I don't know if you remember that video.
Dude had every summer had dropped one that just lasted for
No, but this is the beginning. Before all that, before like this is like the beginning. Yo, shout out to Moego Sisulu one time. Yo, rest in peace, man, mama dude. But that dude did one of the nicest like he just spent like a day with Jabba and he made this insert. This was one of the dopest inserts. Like he introduced Jabba for me to television. You know what I mean? And then like a guy like Limonka, you know, if it wasn't for Limonka, I don't think Jabba would have gotten as far as he got. Just like you say, behind every artist, there's always this dude who's always behind the scenes.
Now that's why
who's never seen. Even like, you know, another relationship that I say, you know, you even though I know how you feel about the dude, but like we gotta say shout out to Casper and his manager, because them dudes, you remember when we were doing our thing, they were doing their thing, and they've stayed true to each other. You know what I mean? Because like there's no loyalty in this game.
Listen, loyalty is rare, and like I said to you, even through our ups and downs, you know, I've remained. I still shout out you like you my manager, and the only reason why we're not working together, God knows why. We still work together in many ways, but it's different to the way we did it before, you know. And I think it's better that way because it's so organic and so natural, and we can't stop it. But I can't take any credit for myself because there's some things that I just, you know, I've learned from you that some artists can't achieve, fam. You know, I don't believe that it's the artist's duty to do certain things, like you just said, what that artist did for Jabba. You know what I'm saying? Then you were involved. You understand? How could Jabba get all of this all at once and go into radio, go do this? It's impossible. You know, people don't understand. Like, it gets to a certain point. That's why Casper had Tilly. You understand? And that's why I had you. Because
bro, I remember that one night we saw them, I think it was Mufftown or whatever. And dude was still driving that VW, the I think it was a Golf 4 or whatever. And I was just like, you know, in a way, I mean, it was just weird that like, and he even called you that night. I think after we had gone, we had left, and he's like, "Yo, where you guys at? Like, yo, these people are shouting out for the joint. Like, they want us to do the joint." And you and I were on our way back to Jersey already. You know what I mean? So it was like, in a way, you know, you look at kind of things like that, and you look back and you think like, damn, you know, had we kind of like kept it together, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you never know. But anyway, let's pause it right there. So, homie, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. So Pharrell comes to Joe Berg.
Wow.
And then he sends a message to, you know, to EMI that like, yo, you guys got a black dude, send him. Don't send no white person.
Wow.
So yeah, man. So I got to hang out with dude the first time he came out here, like the first time when he performed at Joe Berg Stadium. So I got to hang out with dude, like, and it was weird because like at the time I was also like dealing with Jamali, and like, you know, and I had to go to Cape Town because Jamali had like, you know, a bunch of things that they were doing in Cape Town. So when I was at the airport, like busy like running through, because I think I was late for the flight or whatever. So I hear somebody calling me, you know, and I look, and it's dude, yo. Wow. He's in like a hoodie and he's literally low key, you know. And it was weird that like he remembered my name and he saw me walk past at like in an airport, like a busy space.
Of course he would.
And then he, you know, and then like I got to meet him and a lot of other people. Like, you know, I've spent time with Diddy, spent time with like Alicia Keys.
Damn, I mean, you've spent time
Fab
with people.
Five Freddy. I mean, like, bro, like I've spent some time with like.
Did Fergie
time
come
with
to South Africa?
Spent time with Usher, eh?
Who was the girl that came to South Africa that you managed at EMI? I think you looked after. Was it Fergie? There was
no. It was a girl named Joss Stone.
Stone. Like, I remember like, Joss Stone.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Joss came out here, and I also like, you know, Dinah Ross. I've worked with Dinah Ross. I've worked with Angelique Kidjo. I've worked with.
We sitting next to legendary. You don't get better,
bro. Like I've worked with a lot of people, bro. Like a lot of people, like, and some of them, like they, you know, like. like in the rock, I suppose on the rock side,
Yeah.
Korn.
Wow.
And I got to like literally work with them, like not just like
For sure.
Like, so, and then the one person that I got really, really close with, I don't know, it was weird. Like he even asked for me the second time he came out here, was Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, you did tell me that story. That's
crazy.
Man.
Yeah, man. So it was really, really cool.
Jared liked your energy.
Yeah, it was crazy. He got me to walk him
more than Jared. I think all of them, because they all really asked for Kev when they.
He got me to walk him onto stage, bro. So, and that's like
crazy.
something that I was really, really proud of. Like, you know, he was just like, "Yo, walk me onto stage."
Wow.
And I was just like, so dude, put his hands on my shoulders. So I literally had to walk because he had his hoodie on and he was looking down on the ground.
Damn.
Yo, there's something about energies that they always talk about, especially when they're on their way onto like stage. Like the people that are always backstage, apparently their energies are never right. Yeah. And I don't know why they always let them in there. Cause like, I mean, I've had a lot of artists complain about that. Like, you know, and it's like, yo, the energy backstage is not right. And I don't want to see those people. I don't even want to look at them. They only want to face them once they come off, once they've done this thing.
That's how it is, you know. And I mean, I felt that with you. You've known me. And I'm very sensitive to energies. I mean, a Nazi too, you know. Yeah,
shout out to homie, yo. Like, yo, I got a whole story about him. It was crazy how, like, he called. I even remember the day he called me. I was like literally standing on the 8th floor of a hotel in Durban. I was down there for the Metro FM Awards. Wow. Homie calls me on a Saturday, I think I want like around 1 o'clock. He says to me like, yo, you know how he do, like, he never like say, yo, what's up, man? He's like, yo.
Yeah.
Yo.
It's exactly like that.
It's time.
Yeah.
I was like, what? He's like, it's time. He's like, I got one.
Yep.
He's like, I got one.
Yep.
He's like, yo, send me your deeds. Let me handle. Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. I sent him like, you know, an invoice right there. You know, Dan Joffe.
Yeah.
Yo, he handled like 5 minutes later. And then I think probably like 2 hours later, I called somebody, a friend of mine. I called her and I was like, yo, I think I got something. Let me send it to you. She was at Metro FM, 5 FM at the time. So she was at 5 and she did the breakfast show. So I'm like, yo. So I sent it to her. Yo, she hit me right back. She's like, 7:30 Monday morning.
Wow.
This is Saturday. We're making these moves on Saturday.
Crazy,
Imagine.
Crazy.
You didn't wait for Monday.
Shout
We're
out
like,
to Anati, man.
Bro. And that was the saga, yo. He gave me the saga.
The
That was the saga. That's where it all started with him and I. So he gave me the saga, and obviously the rest is history. And then I've literally done every single with him up until like his last joint that he put out, like a couple singles I helped him put out. You know what I mean? So like, yo, fam, when we talk about loyalty, he's like one of the people that like were loyal, but got another whole story about how that whole thing started, and that whole thing was ignited by Dimples. A lot of people don't know that like, yo, Dimples had like an Dimples. Effect, you know. So and then, but like, I don't like how it ended in the like, cause like now, like, you know, when you owe each other money and it's like, it's kind of like, yo, it's so nasty and bullshit. And I kind of wish that I had time to actually, like, you know, just, you know. And he did reach out and be like, yo, man, we gotta talk, man. We gotta squash this shit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, man, I was just like, on my, you know me, on my crab shit, where I just alienate people. I'm on my crab shit.
But look, there's things, people. I won't lie, that people change, and you also don't do the same things you used to do. Life just goes on, and we learn lessons sometimes through these things. You know, sometimes it's deeper than, you know, the lessons that we have to go through with people that we know. Sometimes it's not even people we know, and we learn from situations, you know. And I've learned over these last few weeks that, like, yo, appreciate everybody around you. You know what I mean? And
well, I don't know, man. Like, you know what? I'm neither here nor there about this whole thing, family, to be honest with you. Because, like, people are just people.
No,
man.
look, I want to agree with you. And when I say this, I'm saying people around you as in people you know who got your back.
Oh, no.
You know
of course. I mean? Like, so if somebody like has helped you in a way, I think it's only fair that you shout out that person and you.
We don't want to lie that it's getting worse
and hold them down.
To trust people, well, you know, there is a lot going on and people are not loyal.
No, life is not guaranteed now. I think that's what you're trying to lead to. So let's just complete this EMI journey, okay? So the EMI journey was kind of crazy, man, filled with like, yo, everything, like you name it. Like it was just like, it was all there. So they like had two departments. They had international and they had a department called CCP. CCP was like a standalone label on their own, and they had like, you know, obviously the whole Kwaito thing and a chokehold. They had the whole Afropop thing. You know, they literally like they cleaned up most of the time. And at one point, I think they had like probably the biggest market share when it came to like local labels. Like all the local labels combined, like they were killing it. They were literally killing it. And I think shout out to Sean Watson though, because I mean without him and the rest of the team, and then later on Shabangu took over, you know what I mean? So it's like those people again that are, you know, out there in suppose some of them I'm not even even talked about these days, but hey man, they were there. So the whole EMI thing I think ended in 2010, when I got retrenched. And then the weird thing happened, like the weirdest thing happened. So I get retrenched, right? And then I don't tell nobody about this, right? And I get home. So I tell my girl, I'm like, yo, baby, I got retrenched today. My girl's like, damn, we just had a baby, yo. What are you talking about?
Damn.
Child was 2 years old, fam. And I just got retrenched. And then the weird thing happened, like I said, man, the next day, I get a phone call.
Wow.
It's Chris Galakis.
Wow.
Galakis is like, yo, what up? I'm like, yo, what's good, man? He's like, I heard you got retrenched.
Wow.
I'm like, who told you? I ain't told nobody, like for real. I ain't told nobody. The only person I told was my girl. You know me, I talk a lot.
Yeah.
I talk a lot, but that was one thing that like, cause like this shit affected me. Like, yo, it was like, yo, man, I couldn't believe this shit. What the fuck? But then,
there's always a sunny day after the rain.
This cat is like, yo, come see me. I'm like, all right, man. So we had dealt with him, right? So for those who don't know, Galakis at the time had studios. When EMI had literally sold all their studios, because before we had studios or whatever, we're out there in Steeldale, and people like Trevor Noah used to come to my office like every Friday to get the Friday drops, because like we had vinyl, we had CD, we had like posters every Friday. Like a whole bunch of DJs used to come out there. Like on Friday, I literally did nothing but see DJs.
Wow.
Like you name them, Metro FM DJs, like a lot of people used to come through and get like, cause these are drops that you're getting before everybody else. Cause like Friday the drops, and then Monday obviously they hit the stores. You know what I mean? So there were a lot of people that like, you know, that I gotta say like, you know, thanks to, and you know what I mean, people like Iggy Smalls. So like dealing with Iggy Smalls like in the early years of YFM was probably like, you know, I had to prepare. When I was going to present to this dude, music to him, like he was a music compiler at YFM, I had to prepare, fam. I had to know my story. That cat, probably one of the best, I would say. Like, and then if there's a list out there, like I think Fisters would be a close second.
Yes.
Like he would be fighting for the number one spot, because when Fisters was at Metro FM, like yo, shout out to Fisters Mixwell. Like, you know, he made it exciting to present music to a compiler. You know what I mean? And you know, what was nice is the music was judged on strength. Wow. Not like today, where like today it's all about clout.
You know, that's what I look, we're all allowed and we're all entitled to our opinion. My opinion is I don't like the new system. You know, I like the old system. Yo. It's really whack. The old system, like you said, was based on, I remember a board committee at 5FM sitting around, and you and I waiting for.
Hell yeah.
And we waited. We failed the test twice. So we like.
No. You had four resubmissions. After the first submission, you had 4 resubmissions. Because remember, like every single week, somebody may submit a song that is way better than yours, and you kind of had to like, you know, because that's why you gotta have somebody that's kind of leading you, that's going to you know, put you through all that, because you as an artist, you guys are emotional.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably more emotional than anyone that I've ever met. You know, even more emotional than girls. You know, like, you know, it's like, you cats are emotional, and you're all the same. And sometimes there's certain information that you gotta share with your artist, and there's certain information that you don't share with your artist.
And this is why I said it's so important to have
you
know telling us these things.
So having to like sit with those guys and like present music, and then there was another lady named Thando Makunga. So I started hearing about Thando Makunga when she was still in Cape Town. before she even came to Joburg. When she came to Joburg, it was just like, yo, man. But like, yo, those were the radio people. Where when radio compilers were just like, they were, I think, as passionate as we were about music. It wasn't just like now. Now, I feel that some of them, it's just like, it's become like a job, you know. There's very few today that like are still driven by passion, just sheer passion.
That's true.
They just love music. They like, you know, they check each and every email that they get. They listen to each and every song, and don't let like emails like, you know, pile up in their inbox and then they don't go through it because it's like, they think, they say like, oh no, I'm busy. But like, what about the guys that came before you? You know what I mean? What about the guys that were there? Like they were, you know, they would get back to guys and write back to them and say, like, yo, thank you very much for your submission.
Yeah.
No, you never get any response. You send something and you're just like,
hey, it is
and then
true.
you kind of hope for the best, yo.
What's your take on this whole internet thing? Do you think it's only going to get worse? I'm saying like in terms of the TV and the internet thing. I think it's just
nah.
done.
But the problem is, listen, man, we've created an industry of people that are literally, I suppose, so focused in like little things. They've been like being fed like little pieces of information all the time, and they're used to that. Like now, putting out a whole song. Like imagine back in the day. I mean, like I come from the tape era.
Yeah.
Like doo-doo-doo.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's where I come from.
Yep.
Before CD, when CD came out, like it was just like, yo, I used to have a CD Walkman, and I used to go everywhere with that. And I don't know how many tape Walkman I had.
50 Cent. I used to put that in my Walkman every day.
Hell yeah. So I mean, you know, so you appreciate it. Like I used to listen to a tape like from start to finish. There was none of that whole thing where, and then remember, like a lot of them you couldn't rewind. Even if you loved the song, you had to like, you know, you couldn't rewind it at that time. That's and like, true. You know, so like look at what's going on today. These kids are being fed by TikTok and all that. Like TikTok is probably, I think, like the biggest music discovery platform today.
Yeah.
And I think like a minute ago it was YouTube. A lot of people discovered new music on YouTube. True. Now TikTok has overtaken that.
With the dance challenges and all of that.
With everything. And it's like, and I would love to find out like the percentage of people that actually go look for the long version of that snippet that they heard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Because it's like, it kind of reminds me of back in the day when like Stereo Kinnico and them used to like advertise their trailers on television before YouTube came and all that. Like, I don't know if you guys were probably weren't born yet, but like, you know, once upon a time on a Friday, we used to get like a whole like section where they like literally would break down like all their teasers on what's out at the cinemas. You know what I mean? They don't do that no more.
That's a wrap. It's been like that for a while.
You know what I mean? You don't see music ads no more. Remember, like you were literally inundated with like Musica selling you, Chad the Don selling you like all these damn CDs that you didn't need. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. I just look at it. Look, for me, so this is why I asked this question. I want you, there's a youngin right now, right? And he doesn't have a clue on what's the best way forward right now. Does he focus on internet? Where does he start off? Where's his focus now for the future?
To tell you the truth, their whole story is like very easy. Their story is really, really easy. Like, you know what I mean? Because like everything is handed to them. I won't lie to you. Like everything is literally handed to them on a platter.
True.
They don't gotta do anything. Cause like now Samuel is giving them a portal. They can upload their music from their homes. They don't gotta travel nowhere. You know what I mean? And like you got all these aggregators, like literally all offering different services. But the one that I try and like tell kids to stay away from is because they just haven't put a lot of focus on the continent, right? And DistroKid for me, right? These kids love DistroKid.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's like, yo, guys, there are certain DSPs that are localized, and they don't have a license with them. And you're losing out on local streams that you could be getting, you know what I mean, from people that like you, because those people aren't on those, you know what I mean, on those other platforms, like, you know, because we're in Africa. Don't forget that. There's a very small percentage of people who are on, you know, the Apples of the world, who are on, you know, what's the other one? Spotify. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not everyone can afford it. Because there's a charge to it, fam.
And that's why I'm saying to you, so what do these kids, like, let's say they're not the Chads, right? They trying to get to the level where Chad got exposure, but do they focus strictly on internet? each channel, hitting it from Twitter to Facebook to Insta. I see, as an artist, I can say I've moved my focus onto the internet, but I've seen a drop in terms of radio and video.
Bro, come on. Like, you know what? For me, you're going after a fan base, right? People are everywhere. You can't say that, like, yo, I'm just going to concentrate over here because, like, I think there's people over here. People are everywhere, fam.
Like
Back in the day when I was at EMI, I used to do some dumb shit. Like, obviously, like, people don't do that no more. But, like, we had, like, you know, an office where we could duplicate anything that was promotional from the company, right? So I would make a compilation every Friday and go stand at, like, street corners, like the busy ones out there on Louis Borta, and give those CDs to taxi drivers.
And that's the shit that we're missing.
You know what I mean? Give them cats like free music that they can bump in the taxi. You know what I mean?
It worked with Corobella for me. You know, I just handed that CD out. I printed 15,000.
My guy, we in Africa. You can't just think that everybody is like digital. Some people are like, yo, I'm driving a car that still like, you know, plays CDs. I
need them to hear though. That's why it's good that you're explaining, is that he's like, so for the youngin' out there that's listening, you know, don't just put your focus on one thing. You know, I can hear what Kev's saying. There's people everywhere, bro. You should be giving, if the people around you, youngster once told me something. He's like, yo, if the people around you don't even know your music, like where you stay, you got a problem.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, hell yeah.
Start there.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always, bro, if you're walking past and they don't know your songs or that you dropped, there's a problem.
Chetty, I've just done music business through Berkeley, right? So they had this like case study, right? Like this like, you know, just for a lot of people, just so you know how to get in, right?
Yeah.
So they gave us this like this weird scenario where they're like, okay, cool. So there's a group of boys, right? They form a band. They start playing at the one kid's house in the garage.
Yeah.
They've been practicing for time. They start slowly inviting, when they think they're ready to have some people listen to them, they invite a few girls that they are friends with. These girls come around, they enjoy their music.
Yeah.
And these girls invite more people.
Okay.
And these people come and they see these boys performing live.
You see?
So now what has happened here in a short space of time, these kids have been literally performing. What are they doing? They're working on the art. And then suddenly they bring in a crowd and they start working a formula on how to entertain
that crowd.
Exactly.
And then grow.
A small crowd.
Very good.
Immediately after that, these kids looked at a corner bar. And they went up to this bar and they said like, yo, please can we come perform on a Friday night for free?
Wow.
To the bar, to the crowd that goes to the bar.
Wow.
So they performed at this bar to a slightly bigger crowd from the friend's garage.
It's crazy.
So by the time they got there, where are these kids? These kids are ready.
Exactly.
They are ready.
Prepared.
So what I'm trying to say, right, is that these people were trying to like school me on that, like, yo, family,
listen,
when you are pushing somebody, make sure that they start literally sharpening the knives before you get to the slaughter.
Thank you.
By the time you get to the slaughter, it's like, I got this. I've been practicing this thing, because it's like, the other thing is stamina.
It's vital.
Like, remember I used to like make you like, cause you're like, oh, my chest. I'm like, yo, bro, how are you gonna do 3-4 shows a night and still be able to like to have a voice to even like, cause your voice runs out. Like everything runs out. Like when I was with Joss, her manager kept on giving her warm water and ginger and honey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, that was like years ago. And I was like wondering like, why is this guy giving this girl
that?
And then I asked myself, and then I went and asked him. I was like, yo, man, what's going on? He's like, you know, it's just to keep her vocals properly nice, warm. So as she's singing. And then I worked with this other guy named Helmut Lotti. Helmut would be singing, like, I'd get to the hotel like 5:30 in the morning. This cat's already up.
Wow.
He's like walking around, he's busy getting ready, he's putting on his suit and stuff. He says good morning to me. And the whole time, this nigga's singing. I mean, this dude is singing. This white dude, Flemish dude.
Wow.
This cat, as soon as they announce his tickets there at Carnival City, fam, he'll sell out. And we have to put on a second show.
Damn.
And then, like, when I first went to his show, it's like a full orchestra with a cabaret. Fam, have you ever seen that?
That's crazy.
Those girls, like, you know, you synchronize everything. I was
different
like,
level. It's a different level altogether.
I've worked with Mango Groove, fam. Like, when those guys on stage,
Crazy.
that was like, that was a mind-blowing experience.
Wow.
John Layden,
Wow.
and Clay Johnston, my man, those people. I loved working with John. John used to call me at 7:00 every morning. Every morning. Good morning, Kevin. Like every morning, the whole time we managed Mango Groove, like every morning.
Wow.
Literally would plan the day, what we're gonna do,
Wow.
like what I was gonna do on my side, what he was busy doing. So it's like you gotta be on top of your game as well. What I'm trying to say is like, yo, man, you gotta like treat this thing as like, yo, it's a daily thing. So in a way, so by the time you get to that corner spot, you are ready for a tour. And this tour can come out of you. You know what I mean? You could put together like a little tour and be like, yo, man, let me call everybody. Just like I said to you. You probably laughed at that presentation I showed you at your crib.
No,
and
I
then
didn't.
weirdly enough, you know what?
Laughing?
Weirdly enough, a week ago, I met this dude from across the street from where I live.
Wow.
This dude is a pastor there in Bryanston or whatever, some church in Bryanston. This dude says he works with like those kids, those troubled kids in the church. And I told him about that idea. And he was like, yo, that's crazy.
That's brilliant.
He
I
was
didn't
like, yo,
want
that's
to write
crazy.
that off though because I knew.
No, but I'm just saying, he was just like, yo, that's crazy. He was like, yo, I would be interested in something like that because of like these people that I'm helping right now, they need
that. They need
leaders like that who are like,
sure.
who are going to share stories, not just stories about like who have experienced life.
That's the thing,
You know what I mean?
That's what changes it. I think for artists out there, there's difference in that pain. It's like let's go to fighting real quick. It's like McGregor, It's like Carla and
idiot.
I love McGregor for what he's done for the sport and everything. But here's the thing: do you see what that comfortability does with that money? The hunger is
of course.
So,
No, of course.
to stay hungry, I always get asked the advice, and then also besides staying hungry and doing, I just don't think people know how much work this takes.
No, it does. I mean, no. But hold on, not just work. I think it's not work. It's like, yo, man, you remember like that day it all happened. Do you remember that day?
Yeah.
I think like I was probably like, because you were the first dude that I took Chris. I don't think Chris ever forgave me for that.
Yeah.
Like there are things that we do to people that they don't forgive you for. And one thing I gotta say is when I got with Chris, right? So Chris at the time had JR, he had Tear Gas, he had Effortraction, and I started working on all those projects and other projects as well. They started blowing up. They got wall-to-wall airplay, work with people like KO, but like, don't talk to him today. You know what I mean? And Benza called me for AKA. I released the first 3 singles of AKA before AKA became what with the monster that he is today. Because I'd known Benza for a while, shout out to, Raphael Benza. Yeah, he's a good dude right there. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like guys like him that just like have amazing passion and also just a business sense for the game. I think that's one thing that I kind of slipped up on. Like that whole business side. It was just like, because when you're led by passion, you're always broke.
For sure. Especially in this music industry.
You always broke. I mean, you were with me that day when we were chilling at when the last video that I shot, Jabba asked me for that cameo. Yeah. You remember that day?
I remember that.
George was there as well.
Crazy.
I remember you left and then Casper was there too and hung out with us the whole day. But you remember like that whole entire day, the guy who was shooting that video, made no money from that video. For sure. Because that whole set that he built, fam.
Yeah,
remember that? It was like amazing. No, like nobody builds sets for music videos today.
For sure.
And I mean and even the guys that shoot on film, I remember it used to take 2 days. Yeah. To shoot a lot of the Kwaito videos that people take for granted, like Izinja and all of them, you know what I mean? Like Mapaputsi. And Mapaputsi is just Yes. I remember that video when the way we shot it, it was crazy. Like Lonster. Hey, Lance, shout out one time, man. I know Lance, people people say like weird things about Lance, but sometimes I wish, you could sit one down and tell like a story about that cat. Cause that cat, as much as people will say whatever about him, but that dude has been instrumental in this game, in this music industry game, fam.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
For real, I won't lie.
We pay respect.
Homage, mad homage to him, man. I mean, it's just the one thing that I'll tell you, Chad, is that I've never met an artist who understands music business. I've never met one.
For sure.
Ringo Madlingozi, you name them. They've been in the game for a long time, but they are so caught up in the creative side and everything else that they don't really have that time to actually learn about the music business. And you find that my boy Roy in Cape Town, he's working with this company, I think they call themselves Mouse or whatever. So they're helping artists go and claim a lot of money that artists don't even know is out there. Because a lot of artists like that have blown up, that have got like gotten like airplay over the years and gotten like mad like streams or whatever. Like don't even know that there's certain monies that they can claim from certain societies.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so he's helping people like like that go after those people and claim, and they're going after with like paperwork, because like that's what I hate about this industry. This industry is like, yo, bro, even this whole thing about like streams, probably I think it's the most manipulable. What's that word? Manipulation. Yeah, I think they can manipulate the entire system.
Wow, I also
the entire system. You saw that whole thing about like your boy French Montana. They were saying that like falsifying some of the streams that he's had. So it's like, look, I mean, I love the physical business that we had, like all the physical stores that we used to go to and listen to the CDs and touch the CD. Like I love that whole thing because you couldn't fake those numbers.
You can't. Look, where I say is that's true, but then you get like a focalistic, or we take somebody who's doing just like
I hate Kwaito, bro.
Yeah,
sorry. I said Kwaito. No, I love Kwaito. I hate amapiano, bro.
Yeah, so listen,
I hate amapiano.
Right? We strictly
No. I'm not strictly hip hop. You know me. You know me.
I'm saying like we love hip hop, and for hip hop lovers, I understand that thing. Like me, I haven't conformed to the amapiano thing for that reason, because of my brand.
Come on, it has no space in what I listen to. I listen to metal. I listen to classic. I don't listen to gospel. Like, and I listen to like like a lot of hip hop. That. Sure. And there's a lot of other like weird eclectic music that I listen to. Hey?
Do you see amapiano growing and being here for a while, or do you think it's just a thing that's gonna die out?
Look, that's what we were hoping for last year already.
Yeah, but I don't see it. I think it's a start.
But no. But you know what? The problem that I have with it is that South Africa is the problem, not the sound. I don't have a problem with it. Please understand. Like, yo, shout out to every amapiano artist out there. You know what I mean? No. Because for the first time, fam, you need to understand something.
Yeah.
For the first time, we are on the global stage.
No, that's. There's
you know what I mean?
About it. There's
we are on the global stage, fam. And when I say global, I'm talking about like international, local, like even African artists.
For sure.
Like local artists are performing on the continent.
For sure.
And that shit wasn't happening before. I think Brenda and them were the last wave that used to get like a lot of, like Abo Mendoza and them would get bookings outside of the country and shit like that before Spook Matambo and what's Ray Piri's daughter's name, man? She also killed it overseas. She was really, really lucky. You know what I mean? Nonku. Like, so people like Nonku killed it overseas. But what I'm saying is, fam, for the first time after Nigeria, we are out there on the global stage.
For sure.
People know about South Africa because of amapiano.
Yeah.
No other genre has ever done that.
I love it for what it's done for for our country and taking us, even for music as a whole. The growth is insane. And I think it's been done. Amapiano was there before. It was just never given a name. Like, people were doing it, dog. Focalistic was doing that sound, and it just never got, it's now it's time. That's what I'm saying. It's just amapiano time. Fam. It's going to get its glory and shine.
Chedi, it's a problem, fam, because it's like, how can you now prioritize one genre over everything? It's bullshit. It's like...
True.
Like radio, like you send music to radio. If it's not on my piano, it's like, yeah, whatever.
True.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's bullshit. We should have hip hop bumping, house bumping, Afro pop. You know what I mean? All the different genres also still bumping alongside each other. Sure. Like, why are you gonna like only let these guys eat right now? What about everybody else? And then everyone's like, yo, Zola. I understand that whole thing, but thing is, we don't have that whole thing of like where we celebrate legends. We always say it, but like, we don't book those guys.
Nah, that's true. And while
they don't make no money. And how are they gonna make money if cause you know what? So we had this dinner with Jared Leto this one night. I think we took them to Moyo or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're sitting over there and I asked this dude, I'm like, yo, bro, why did you choose? Oh, actually, if you could choose between music and acting, which one would you choose? Imagine. Yeah. I've seen most of this guy's films.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever seen his films. This guy is phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like he literally like would go and become a character.
Yeah. I feel you.
You know, he becomes a character.
feel you.
He's not that guy where we can tell, this is
it's
Chris
real.
Rock.
It's
still
real.
Chris Rock.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't matter what he does. It's Chris
I
Rock.
feel you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? This guy literally becomes that.
Yeah, it forms into that whole thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he says to me, he's like, Kevin, you know what? I can go and shoot a film and spend 6 months becoming that. And then the movie comes out and the critics like literally go in on me and they talk shit and say whatever. And they don't even know what I sacrificed to get that right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And he's like, with music, it's instant gratification. He's like, I can stand in front of a million
true.
kids.
That's true.
A million
I won't
kids.
lie. I won't
It's
lie.
true to you as well. Because when we started with you, I mean, you remember what your Facebook was like. Bro, you started getting like 10 a day, 10 followers a day.
Yeah.
It went to 20.
For sure.
It went to 100.
For sure.
It went to 200.
For sure.
Like, it was just like,
we on 380 now. We nearly on
you know what I mean?
400.
It just kept on like going and going on.
For sure.
I mean, you were like, all like, yo, did you see? And I'm like, yeah, whatever, man, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I never
remember
really
that.
took it seriously.
Yeah, now it's you know what's so weird is that I took numbers for granted at a stage of my life, and now I look back at it and I'm like, thank God I got away from that and I took it serious again, because I didn't upload any of my old songs, my hits, onto DSPs.
Yeah, I wonder about that. And I was like, oh, your catalog is missing.
So all my catalog wasn't uploaded properly, and you know that's why George was like, dude, you'd be in like deep in the million streams if you had uploaded that.
Yeah,
But
why didn't you?
No, I gave people free music. You know, that was my, but like, I'm not going to look back at, like I'm saying, I've learned so much from my journey, and where I am now has made me, all my mistakes, everything has come together, you know, and made me this person. So, but we have 5 minutes left, so I'm going to ask, you know, talking about legends, we celebrate Ricky and DJ Dimples. Those are two legends to us.
Yo, Ricky. So Ricky calls me and he's like, yo, man, I don't like the way Mama Ntombazane was pushed. Because I was like, we were there. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We were there that day, and he was busy coaching Cool Cat how to sing that shit, and because Cool Cat, like, he couldn't get it, and remember Ricky was getting all frustrated.
There by what's that guy's studios?
Post office.
Yes, the post
Yeah,
office.
he called it the post office. Hey, I wonder what happened to that kid, man.
Yeah,
Yo,
where's that kid at?
I don't know. Like, yo, man, drugs are bad, yo.
Yo, so I just want to
Drugs
say,
are bad.
yo, can we, you know, you knew Ricky very closely. You got to work with him. I mean, you got to push the music, even Dimples.
Yes, so all the songs basically. So from Boss Zonke, I pushed that. I literally released Boss Zonke all the way up to Sidlukotin. So the Sidlukotin was the last joint, and I won't lie, like I'd pushed a lot of songs, a lot of big songs, man. But like Sidlukotin was the first radio station that went over 1,000 radio
was
stations.
huge. That was
like
huge.
1,000 radio stations. I didn't even know that there were 1,000 radio stations.
Wow.
Like when I looked at Radio Monitor,
Wow.
the song was being played by like over 1,000 radio stations. I'm like, what the hell?
It's crazy.
That was the last biggest
Crazy.
song that
what he's done for
I
hip hop as a whole and contributed.
But you know what? Shout out to him. He gave me like 20,000 rand to push Zulu Girls.
Wow.
Like he was just like, yo, I want this one to go big, like big. He was just like, yo, like here's 20K,
Ricky's
make this
a
thing
legend,
happen.
man.
Yeah, man. Yo, shout out to him. Yo, Makaro really, like, you know, he was there. Like, and it was nice working with him because it was never like he would send me a song or whatever. He would like call me to the house and I'll come there, and he always had a studio at his house. Like even when we started there in Ramberg, because he was in Ramberg when I first started working with him.
Yeah.
So he'd call me to the small studio. We sat in there and he literally gave me the whole plan of what he was planning with Boss Zonke, even the whole telephone thing, making a phone line and like, you know, talking to fans and that. Like, I even said to Anati, he was like, yo, man, when I started working with Anati, it was just like, yo, bro, some crazy thing happened. He's like, bro, I didn't even know that I had fans in like these weird places. Like, you've made me that. You've given me that. You got my music exposed to like all these places where I didn't even know I had fans. He's like, yo, they tweeting at me, they send me messages.
That's how real it is.
And he was like, yo, that's crazy.
That's the push that you helped us with, you know, and that's why I brought you here today. And I wanted to thank you for coming out. I hope that you guys sitting there at home got a better perspective, you know, because it is the 4th episode of Perspective. We got a better perspective of, you know, our views of things and what it takes and what you got to go through in this industry to get where you are. And hopefully you took off what Kev was saying, what I was saying in our conversation, and you got motivated. And if you have any questions, you know, I do answer as many DMs as I can a day. But this is the 4th episode, and thank you for tuning in. Mad love from Chad the Don and Kevin Mdubeki right here. Peace out.
Grind, never getting no sleep. These homies, they weak. I never doze off. Yeah, I gotta wake up and eat. Go give me the cheese. I'm about to show y'all.